Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Welcome to the channel. I am so grateful you're here, especially a huge thank you to those of you who are tuning in to this reading as a live premiere, participating in our truly beautiful, high vibrational live chats that we do have during the premieres of these readings. If you didn't make it to the live this time, then don't worry. I do post twin flame readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can stop back here at any of those times and days. So with that being said, of course, we are doing a twin flame reading today for the collective Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. As I always say, only take what resonates with you personally, because I do tend to channel many hyper-specific messages throughout the readings meant for specific individuals and not necessarily for everyone. So always use your intuition here. That is truly always the best guide for you through these readings and really through life generally too. The first card to come out is the Strategy card in the upright position. Someone here is making a plan or really thinking ahead in a kind of concrete way into the future. By the way, when I mention throughout the reading or speak to the masculine and feminine energies, as I always say, these are descriptors for energy dynamics, not necessarily for a particular gender in the connection. So do keep that in mind. And as twin flames, we can actually experience both the masculine and the feminine energies because we have each energy within us. So at times you may find that these messages actually connect to your inner masculine or inner feminine as well. So I want to know who is making some kind of a plan here. I'm going to get a card from the Hidden Truth Oracle. Who is making some type of a plan here? Hopefully when I pull one of these cards with a message on it, I will be able to pick up whose energy is speaking here. Who's strategizing into the future here? It was my fault, but I blamed you. Okay, so right away, I feel that coming from a Divine Masculine for sure. So why does this Divine Masculine feel like something was his fault here? Caring connections in the upright position. Because I'm realizing you truly cared about me, but I left you behind in some sense, is what I feel this masculine saying. Can I get another message from this masculine? Wow, there we go. I couldn't let you get close to me. And I see this connecting really strongly with the sacral chakra here, the seat of intimacy, the ability to form emotionally and physically both intimate connections, meaning connections balanced with both physical and emotional intimacy. And I literally see, like visually here, a masculine with his arms out, pushing away the Divine Feminine, keeping her at arm's length in some kind of figurative sense in the past. And now speaking to the fact that he was afraid to let her get too close. Why was this masculine afraid to let the Divine Feminine get too close? Victory in the reverse position. I'm actually going to read a little bit from the guidebook for this card. The numbers 1, 4, and 28 might be significant to someone. The Victory card reversed signals a delay or reversal in a hoped-for outcome, whether it's in a personal change or external achievements. You need to release one specific outcome and set your sights on another. There's something about that line, releasing one thing to be able to move towards another. I feel like the real reason this masculine wouldn't let the divine feminine get too close is because he wasn't ready or willing to let go of something in order to move towards her. It's like the need to let go of one thing in order to allow another thing into your life, to create space for something else. I'm getting this visual of someone who's kind of like hoarding items in their house. This may literally apply to something that someone listening has experienced or experienced with someone close to them doing this, insisting on kind of like holding on to a lot of items, things that create a lot of clutter because they are afraid to let go and make room for other things. But if this doesn't apply literally for someone, I see this applying figuratively to this masculine. Specifically, I feel I'm picking up on someone's masculine who is carrying a very strong earth energy, almost like a Taurus energy kind of vibe. They may or may not actually have earth signs in their chart, but what I mean by this is there is this kind of attachment to things. I hear this masculine saying, I like my things. I like things kind of the way that they are. There's this kind of attachment to like comfort things that provide a sense of comfort or familiarity in the physical world. But I feel that somehow this carried over into the relationship aspect of this connection as well, where this masculine was trying to hold on to certain patterns of behavior or other relationships or people that hold a very karmic kind of energy here that were causing this kind of metaphorical clutter in his energy, in his life, and blocking him from moving towards what he really wanted, which was the divine feminine. It's like this fear of letting go of the familiar and moving toward the unknown, even though the unknown is what his heart truly desired here. So now I want to reshuffle the cards and speak to the divine feminine. There's something about seagulls, by the way, that was coming up earlier as I was preparing for this reading, or potentially the beach or the ocean, someplace you might typically see seagulls. So what is going on with the divine feminine right now? I'm sensing a lot of activity from the feminine through some of the upper chakra centers at this moment, specifically the throat chakra, the third eye, or the crown chakra. So I'm going to get some messages for what is going on there. I heard intuitive downloads, so some divine feminine could be feeling really highly in tune with her own intuition right now, or very creative. Appreciation reversed. And Goddess of the Moon reversed. I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook for these cards. Although I do feel this divine feminine's higher self here saying right away, with appreciation reversed, this kind of feeling of not fully seeing or connecting with your inner value or self-worth. And I feel this divine feminine's higher self saying, don't you see how beautiful you are, how worthy and how valued you are, divine feminine? But I do want to read some other messages from the guidebook for that. You may have gotten caught up in the prickly brambles of negativity, possibly even despair. Find something to appreciate about yourself. Let go of this negative focus. I heard nitpicking. I almost feel as though I'm picking up on, I don't think this will be everyone, but I feel I'm picking up on a divine feminine who has been almost like nitpicking about something about herself, whether it's her physical appearance, whether it's something about the way she presents herself, the way she is acting or being in life, how much she perceives that she has or has not achieved in life. There's kind of this feeling of strong, at times, self-judgment from this divine feminine. Again, this kind of like nitpicking vibe, like picking herself apart. And I don't feel this will be for everyone here. I feel this could only be speaking to a few in the divine feminine collective, but I do want to see if I can channel another message for those with whom this applies to. I heard, don't let these old patterns of self-judgment, which is really just coming from a space of fear of rising into your highest empowerment, your highest, most powerful version of yourself. And I'm hearing like, don't let those old habits of self-doubt bring you back down into those brambles of negativity, as the guidebook said. If you are someone who's dealing with this, know that you aren't alone in this. The divine feminine tends to have this very introspective kind of energy and mindset. So it's very normal for the divine feminine to experience these feelings of self-doubt and even self-judgment sometimes. But I am feeling really guided to tell you it might be helpful for you just to sit down and make lists of things that you love about yourself, things you are happy with about yourself and about your life. And I'm also feeling a little bit of a twinge of, as I said that possibly a divine feminine I'm connecting with here could have been someone who didn't receive that kind of emotional validation or support. Like I see this young girl who's saying, like, aren't you proud of me? Aren't you going to tell me that you're proud of me? Who really longed for that kind of validation and appreciation and support and wasn't really receiving that. So now I'm hearing it's like part of your inner child healing is giving that validation and support that you needed when you were younger to yourself. Strategy in the upright position. We never really got to fully channel this message of who is making a plan. I almost feel that here the divine feminine could be planning for the future of her own life or her goals in some way. I see someone kind of creating a vision, whether she's writing it down, envisioning it. There's something about putting this vision into written words. So either as a divine feminine, this could be something that you've done. You could have tried some kind of a scripting sort of exercise where you are writing about or journaling about what you want to create or do or achieve in your life. But alternatively, this may be your guides kind of pushing you to create a concrete vision for what you want your life to look like, divine feminine, because what I'm really getting here is you have the power to live, to create whatever life you imagine, whatever life you desire for yourself. There are endless opportunities for you. And I feel that's part of why this third chakra kind of energy is coming up here. It's like, don't you see, divine feminine, how much power you have at your fingertips, how much is available to you at this time? It's like this kind of time of, especially for the feminine, this heightened manifestation ability, and that's only going to be intensifying through Aries season and into even through Cancer season. Wow, very, very strong, determined, motivated kind of energy coming from either the divine feminine herself, or it's what her guides, what her higher self is kind of pushing her into at this time. But also some sacral chakra energy coming up here with the second chakra card coming out. There's something about crystals coming out here. So someone could have purchased crystals or specifically a crystal ball recently. There's something here, though, for the divine feminine about wanting to connect with others in a real way, so a tangible way in the physical world. There could be a divine feminine who either in life generally or in love has experienced a physical isolation from this kind of tangible connection with others. This could be platonic or romantic. And somehow in this period of time where there was this lack of physical connection, I feel that Either this caused the Divine Feminine to take a hit in her confidence with the solar plexus chakra card reversed coming out here, or alternatively, this could have caused, or this somehow could have been created because the Divine Feminine was feeling low confidence. I'm hearing a Divine Feminine say, I didn't want to go out and connect with other people because I didn't feel fully confident in something about myself, my physical body, in how I looked or how I behaved, or there's something about, again, that's for someone, some slight self-judgment or nitpicking of the self coming up here at times, causing this Divine Feminine to almost fear creating these connections in the physical world with other people. This is so specific, but for some Divine Feminine, there could be this energy of feeling more comfortable of connecting virtually with others, whether it's through social media, platonically, or even romantically through dating sites, but in the past kind of lacking this sense of deep self-confidence in herself to really get out there and form connections with people in the physical world. Again, this doesn't have to be in the romantic sense. For some of you, this could be platonically as well. But what I'm getting right here with this sacral chakra card coming up here is a shift in this energy. It's like a shift from feeling this physical disconnection and isolation to really desiring to get out and create real memories, real adventures, real connections in the physical world with other people. For some listening to this reading, I do feel this, I have to say, for some, coming up very strongly in a romantic sense, meaning I really want to get out there and physically connect with masculine energies in the physical. I don't want it to just be this kind of intangible, like conversation or social media connection. I want something real. For those of you who are intending or kind of in the headspace right now or along your soul's path of wanting a physical reunion, desiring a physical reunion with your divine masculine counterparts, then I also see this as for you, this kind of feeling of divine masculine. I want this to be something real. I want this to be tangible between us. I don't want it to just be conversations or some kind of a social media connection. I know that keeps coming up, but I'm strongly picking up on a specific divine feminine who has connected with her divine masculine thus far, predominantly over social media or virtually or over the phone or over text message. And there is this desire to get things moving in person, to move things into the physical. Again, take this as it resonates, because I've mentioned many different kinds of ways this could be showing up for you as the divine feminine. The energies we experience collectively are the same, which is why we share these collective kinds of readings, the ability to channel for the collective. But at the same time, although the energy can be the same, the way in which we experience and feel that energy consciously will differ depending on our unique circumstances and desires and situations. So take that as it resonates, if it does. But now I do want to reshuffle the cards here and speak to the higher self of the divine masculine, because I usually get a lot more energy from the masculine, but he's been conspicuously a bit silent in this reading, which tells me that there could be a silence in communication in your connection, or in some people's connection who are listening in the physical at this time. Yeah, cornucopia in the reverse position. So I don't feel that we're yet speaking to the higher self of the masculine. I feel this card is coming out to actually indicate this kind of overarching energy within the connections. Because the feeling I was getting from this card, just to kind of put it bluntly, is someone who was like trying to drive a car with the brakes on. It's like the whole movement forward is just not working the way that it feels it should be working. It feels unnecessarily slowed down to the perspective of the divine feminine here. There is this feeling of every time I feel like I try to move this forward, it's like trying to push something forward while it's being pulled back at the same time. It doesn't feel like I'm getting the kind of forward movements that we should be getting, that we should be seeing. It's kind of hard to find the words to describe this, but I'm just getting this kind of like tension or frustration with the masculine at times coming from the divine feminine because of the way she's perceiving this thing just feels continuously delayed, or like it's not moving forward in the way that she feels it was supposed to. But all of that led to, with this walking away card upright, this kind of need to rise free from this very heavy situation. I just get this feeling of leaving heaviness behind, or desiring to leave heaviness behind, emotional heaviness, energetic heaviness, this desire to rise, to experience lightness and joy and connection. I just hear a feminine saying, I can't handle this and I won't tolerate this anymore. Not necessarily that she's saying I won't tolerate the masculine anymore, but what she's really speaking to is this frustration of trying to move something forward when the energy still feels very cumbersome, very heavy. And happy family in the reverse position, this card often speaks to reunion. And the fact it's reversed, I almost feel a divine feminine here saying, like, I've almost just accepted, I don't know when or how this reunion between us, divine masculine, is going to happen. But at the same time, I have to say, divine feminines, I feel that some of you are beginning to feel a peace in this feeling of acceptance. This is actually a true surrender to the divine timing, because the patience card came out here. But this isn't a stagnant patience. This isn't like divine masculine, I'm just going to wait around for you, or I'm going to wait around for this connection. This is a surrender to divine timing, while continuing to, with the walking away card, continuing to rise into that space of connectedness with others, with all things, with love itself, with her own inner self, this feeling of peace and harmony. I feel that that is what this divine feminine is rising toward. And that is the truth of this situation, even though at times this divine feminine does step in with those self-judgments and doubts, even probably doubts I'm picking up on regarding this situation specifically, feeling like, am I on the right path with all of this? Because at times I feel like things are so chaotic and I feel a bit confused. What does this divine feminine need to know? Who's asking whether she's on the right path with all of this? What's her answer here? Romance and get more information came out from the, I'm trying to remember what this deck is called. I believe it's the Angel Answers deck. I don't use it very often. Yeah, so what I feel from this divine feminine, romance and get more information. Okay, so what I'm getting is the divine feminine saying, masculine, the ball is in your court. I need more. I need more information. It's like with the romance card, there is this soul desire for things to progress, for things to ultimately move forward. This kind of energy of divine masculine, I want it to be you in the end, but I can't be too focused on those outcomes right now because I need more from you. I specifically hear a divine feminine saying, like, I literally need to hear from you. So that might apply to someone in some kind of a separation. So let's see what the divine masculine's response is to this. How does the divine masculine feel about this? How is the masculine responding to the divine feminine here on a higher self level? Let's get some higher self messages now. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. And this sentiment is particularly affecting the lower chakra centers, especially the root chakra and the sacral chakra. There's a deep feeling of material instability within this masculine, which I feel is amplified because, as we channeled earlier, the masculine we're picking up on here is someone who is very strongly attached to the physical, or who has been in the past. Perhaps even like that kind of hoarder energy. Not that he's literally a hoarder, but kind of that idea of really liking his things, liking things to be a certain way. Very drawn to the familiar, especially in the material physical world. So the fact that he is experiencing this ego death, this destruction, this falling away of everything in his life that has been so familiar to him, but on this higher self level that I feel he's still a little bit blinded to, is no longer aligned with his true soul path. The card "I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it" came out here also. And on this card, it shows a hand holding out flowers. And what I see from this is like a divine masculine wanting to come in with some kind of offer for the divine feminine, and yet feeling at a loss for how to go about doing this. I feel in part because of this chaos that has ensued in their life. There's also this energy of feeling like they lost the divine feminine and not sure how to move this situation forward. My spirit is always with you. Can you feel me? Do you still love me too? I feel this coming from this masculine's higher self, speaking to the fact that his energy has been very heavy with the divine feminine. Divine feminines, I feel that you may be picking up on this through dreams, through telepathy, through not being able to get your masculine off of your mind at times, even if you are in a period of separation. And if this is the case, know that the reason for this is because this masculine spirit, meaning his soul, his energy, his thoughts, his focus, may be very heavily present with you, with kind of that almost like there's almost this obsessive isn't the right word, but this highly fixated feeling from this masculine of, after everything, divine feminine, will you still have me? Do you still want me? But then ironically, there's this feeling of not making an offer and not even asking that question out loud because he's so afraid of the answer, and specifically the rejection that he could receive through that answer if he were to ask the question. It's like, I'm not going to ask the question because I'm scared of the answer. But if I really were to ask what was on my heart and mind, divine feminine, I would ask you, can you feel me the way I feel you? And do you still love me the way that I still love you? I'm getting this image too of like, it's like two souls tethered to one another. And whenever they pull apart, they can never pull apart far enough that they don't come back again. They are always drawn back into each other's reality. But there's this kind of feeling for these two twins I'm picking up on of coming into each other's lives, kind of having these touch point meetings or conversations, interactions, and then suddenly separating again, whether that's an emotional separation, a physical separation. It's like this constant kind of weaving in and out of each other's lives, but always being tethered at the soul. And I feel this masculine is strongly becoming more consciously aware of that soul tethering he has with the divine feminine. Whereas in the past, his logical mind may have just looked at this as coincidence. He may have thought, wow, it's really coincidental that I'm always kind of finding you back in my reality, back in my existence, or back in my mind in this way. But now he realizes this hasn't been a coincidence. There is some soul level meaning for this. And also attached to that realization is the fear with blossoming abundance reversed. This often indicates this feeling of something slipping through your fingers. And I kind of feel this almost slight feeling of despair from this masculine of, divine feminine, are you slipping away forever? Am I letting the best thing I've ever known to slip away? Wow, very emotionally intense messages from this masculine here. So I do want to pull a card from the Rumi Oracle. What else do twin flames listening to this reading need to know at this time? Divine Mother manifests 15. This is card number 15, I should clarify. And I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook for this card. O you, living in the world of 6 directions, accept the gloom and accept the bliss, for the seeds buried in the ground will one day grow into fruitful orchards. Rumi. Through that accepting the gloom and accepting the bliss line, I feel this kind of element of deep level soul surrender, or the surrender that both counterparts are being called to, meaning this release of attachments to the highs and lows and the outcomes of this twin flame experience, this beautiful journey that they're on. But also knowing that these soul desires they hold, just like the seeds that are being planted in the poem, do have the ability, the potential within them to grow, even if it's invisible, even if it's beneath the surface for a while. And I'm going to read just a little bit more from the guidebook. This oracle comes with a message of guidance for you. No matter whether or not things appear to be working out, they are. You are being held in loving protection to keep you from straying from your highest path and divine destiny. I'm hearing if there's a reason you find yourself unable to disconnect from a specific thing, whether it's your twin, whether it's something in your life, what you're really being called to is to realize that sometimes things are in your life for a reason. Sometimes your higher self in the divine is trying to show you, to kind of keep you on a certain divine path, a path you pre-selected for yourself and that you desired. I just feel someone who it's like they're almost trying to forcibly kind of disconnect themselves. This may not specifically be in regards to your twin flame, but you may find yourself trying to kind of like, I'm seeing this applying for someone even with like a creative endeavor. It's like when you have a passion for something, but this person is saying, well, I can't really make logical sense of how I'm going to use this passion as a career, so I'm just going to forget about it. But you can't forget about it, and you find yourself drawn back to it over and over again, and you just can't seem to let it go. And now, of course, that might not be specifically how this energy applies for you. That's just kind of the energy I'm picking up on from here, from this situation, and specifically the message from this person's guides that if something draws you, if you feel passionate about a person or a thing or a place, there is a reason. Feel into that feeling of passion without always needing to have all of the logical answers to back it up. So this feels like such a beautiful place to close this reading before we head over to the extended reading, of course, on our beautiful Patreon community. So in the extended, I will be channeling many more details about what is going on between the divine masculine and divine feminine, both in their physical world, through their interactions, through their conscious feelings about each other, but also what they truly want to say on a higher self level, what each counterpart would say to the other if their guard was down, if they were truly speaking from the soul and releasing all of their fears around saying that thing. So if you would like to explore those extended messages, be sure to click the link in the pinned comment or description box under this video. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in today. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you again in Monday's reading.